So the injuries that I sustained from my pimp was a broken jaw, a clavicle bone from when he tried to drown me was snapped in half, several stab wounds. I also had a couple of fingers that were broken because he hit him with a hammer. He called my friend, who was supposedly my friend, and she came over and tried to clean me up the best that she could. And then they put me in bed for a couple of days. Eventually, he came back there, and I was still bleeding out, and he says, "You're gonna die if I don't take you to the hospital." And he dropped me off in front of the emergency room. The next thing I knew, when I woke up, my jaw was wired shut.
She was exploited. She was hospitalized. She was severely and violently abused and assaulted. And as a result, she was taken to the hospital, left on the doorstep, and thankfully, she made a full recovery. But the problem was that she had all these outstanding medical bills that the hospital charged her for.
I didn't even realize that medical bills existed. They were suing me, and I was like, this can't be right. I was very upset because I didn't do this to myself.
So it became clear to me that Delynn really needed some counsel. She needed legal counsel. And so what we wanted to do was bring in some attorneys who could help her resolve that debt situation. So I thought initially of Amanda Paletz.
Her story was literally almost unbelievable. The way that she spoke about it was so matter of fact that I remember being shocked by the brutality of it, shocked by the fact that she survived it. The hospital had sued her. They were coming after her. They were garnishing her wages. And at that point, I reached out to my husband and said, would you be willing to help her with this? Because he comes from the area of collections and hospital collections specifically. And he said, absolutely.
It's just one of those things where you just have to have a little bit of tenacity that I have usually used in the other side of that equation, but to be able to use that to help someone like Delynn was obviously very gratifying.
He worked with Delynn, he worked with the creditor, he worked with the hospital to make sure not only that Delynn was compensated for the payments that she had already made, but that the hospital received full compensation for the treatment that they had offered to Delynn.
And now she can be free of that, emotional burden. And I can't even imagine what that's like. It's almost like being continually victimized.
I remember being struck by how thrilled she was and how relieved she was about something that maybe you or I might not be so concerned about. For her, it was almost like I could hear in her voice that the weight had been lifted from her shoulders, and almost like I finally won something. I finally achieved something. Something went my way, and it was really awesome.
The power of an advocate is so poignant in this system, this arrangement, that I think that if you communicated that to somebody that's still out there in need of these services, I think it would be a point of hope for them, that there's an option for me, there's a way out.